Hello, Mom. This is David wishing you happy birthday on your 90th. I got into my photographic archives and I thought it might be fun to take a little trip down memory lane. Getting leaves up from the big maple trees in the front yard was always a big job that we did usually in October. So here you are on one of many trips from taking leaves down to the burn pile. Well, maybe the family that works together stays together, but in any event, here are Mike and Brian showing off their 8-year-old superpowers. Of course, a big occasion would be when Jack would come to visit us at Easter time. So here you and Jack in front of the Brockton house. It must have been a late Easter because Jack has on a short sleeve shirt up there in Brockton. Quite often it would have been a little cool. So here's Jack with a number of us. We have from left to right Rick, Jennifer, Deb, Doug, Brian, Maria, and Mike. This is one of my favorite pictures because of that little belly that's on Maria that she obviously eventually lost. So this picture was taken in Memphis now. I was probably in the 10th grade. Mom, you and I were getting ready to get on the Spartan Executive, I believe, to fly up to Kansas to see the Pusers. These were the really halcyon days when Jack had his house in Collierville and had 2 or maybe even 3 airplanes. So I'm not sure where this picture came from, except that it's Uncle Roger, you and Daddy, and I think you were probably somewhere in transit to Hawaii. I always like this picture with those glasses and that mink stole. It reminds me of a comment I had a doctoral student make to me when they were coming through my house. Saw some pictures of you and Dad, and she turned to the group and said, "Dr. Page had Hollywood parents." Well, I hope you enjoyed those. Some of my best memories of you and the whole family are from Brockton, and particularly some of the farm years. It's the very early April right now. It's April 2nd today when I'm making this video. And that reminds me, this was always about the time of the year that we would have the potato planter out, Mom. I'm sure you remember riding that. It had 2 seats on it, one on each side. The planter was steel, it was old, it was rusty, very rickety. It was a really bumpy ride across the field. Dad would pull it across behind the planter. Behind the tractor, and you and I would sit there and drop potatoes one after the other into the field. And it was about 3 acres, I think, that we planted and potatoes. So it took us a little while to do that. We were always glad when that job was over. Certainly harvest time when we got the grapes in was always a big deal up in Brockton. Stressful, but it was always exciting to me. And then there was that day we were out picking tomatoes. It was me, you, Mike, Brian, maybe Jennifer was with us, I'm not sure. We were down in the fields. It was a summer afternoon, and I was just kind of in the mood to mess around. I hardly ever got like that, but it was one of my rare days. And so Mike and I were kind of slinging tomatoes back and forth a little bit at each other. He did kind of a cowardly move, went over and took cover behind you. I made kind of a poor decision, picked up a tomato to sling at him, and I, instead of hitting Mike, I hit you smack dab in the derriere. You promptly dismissed me from the field, told me to get back up to the house, and it was one of the very few days when I ended up not doing any work that day for the rest of the day. But anyhow, a lot of fun. We had a lot of great memories. So happy birthday on your 90th. I'm very much looking forward to coming down to Memphis for the party. I know we're all going to have a smashing good time, and love you very much.